Hi guys, good day to all. This is Mike Padua and we're back to weather analysis. This is for today, Wednesday through Friday, April 19 to 21, 2023. And this is our English version brought to you by Typhoon2000 and Naga College Foundation Typhoon Preparedness Center. Well, it's good to be back here in the Philippine Islands after 2 to 3 weeks of family vacation in South Australia, in Adelaide. I visited my siblings there. And during my stay there, we witnessed a tropical depression. Actually, it's only a low pressure area based on the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. And just the day I left from South Australia back to the Philippine Islands, it was the time that tropical depression Amang made landfall over the Bicol region. So many of our kababayans has been affected by the massive flooding here in Camarines Sur, particularly in Naga City, because of the overwhelming rainfall, which the rain forecast showed that the highest intensity for 24 hours will only reach around 200 millimeters, but in actual readings based on our weather station, some weather station reach almost 400 to 500 millimeters. So this is quite a surprise, but we all know that the rainfall forecast is only around 50 to 70% accurate. So whenever we have a tropical cyclone or a low pressure area approaching Bicol region or any part of the country, we must be prepared with this sudden downpour of rains, okay, that is expected to reach as high as 500, 300 to 500 or even 1,000 millimeters in a span of 24 hours. During the past cyclones in many years, we witnessed this kind of event. And based on what we experience, it's amounting to 2 to 3 months of rainfall that poured in during the passage of tropical depression Amang. So let's hope and pray that everyone's okay now, back to normal since the flood has receded. But in the future, we must always be prepared with this kind of onslaught brought about by these tropical cyclones or even low pressure areas. So right now it's dry all over the country. If we check at our latest fast animation, you can clearly see here all clear across the Philippine Islands without any major weather system. We have some thunderstorms approaching the eastern coastline of northeastern Mindanao. This is mainly due to the easterly surface wind flow. Some inland thunderstorms will also be expected across portions of the Bicol region and eastern Visayas, and also the eastern coastal areas of Cagayan Valley because of the easterly wind flow or the warm easterlies during this time of the year. And outside of PAR, we are keeping an eye on another low pressure area. This is 92W, which is likely to develop into a tropical depression based on the American and the European models. But on the latest output, this system will move towards Guam and the Marianas within the next couple of days. And from there on, it's a question mark if it will weaken or maintain its intensity. Some of the models suggest that based on the medium to long range forecast of these two reliable computer models, it shows that it may move towards the Philippine Islands as a weakened low pressure area. So 92W, after briefly reaching tropical depression or even tropical storm status, it is likely that due to dry air across the Philippine Sea and increasing upper level winds or vertical wind shear, this potential tropical depression will weaken and dissipate into a low pressure area. But it is likely within the next 7 days it will bring rainfall across eastern Visayas and Mindanao area. So we are going to monitor this system for further changes in the forecast models. So let's see what will happen. Okay, but so far this is not a threat to our country. It's far away, roughly 4,000 kilometers to the east of Mindanao. And here's the zoom in satellite animation for the Philippine Islands from windy.com. This is EUMETSAT, and you can clearly see here some developing thunderstorm cloudiness, okay, or thunderstorm activity across northeastern Mindanao and some portions of eastern Samar and eastern Leyte, brought about by this easterly wind flow. Good weather will prevail during this time of the day, but in the mid-afternoon or early evening, there might be thunderstorms across the eastern sections of Luzon and here across the Bicol region and the eastern Visayas. So right now, it's occurring here over northeastern Mindanao. So that's the latest from windy.com. Now let's take a look at the pressure and wind forecast from the European model for the next 3 days until Friday. So this afternoon, Wednesday, we expect easterlies to prevail across Bicol region and eastern Visayas and portions of northeastern Mindanao. Thursday afternoon, the easterlies will start to weaken, and variable to light winds will be expected across central and southern Philippines. Meanwhile, over northern Luzon, particularly over the coastal waters, there will be some southerly winds occurring and southwesterly winds over the Batanes, Babuyan, Cubao Islands because of an exceeding frontal system over the southern islands of Japan. So here's the potential tropical depression. It could become 1W, the first tropical cyclone of the Western Pacific, based on the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. This system could have been 2W, but since Amang is not classified by the Joint Typhoon Warning Center as a tropical depression, just a low pressure area, so it is likely this will become 1W. On Friday afternoon, the potential 1W or 92W is moving towards the Marianas, and it could become a tropical storm based on the European model as it moves towards the northwest. And from there on, moving forward through the weekend, it is likely to weaken through Sunday as it moves closer towards Guam. Monday and Tuesday next week, it will decay into a remnant low pressure area. So it's not expected to reach typhoon intensity or become a powerful typhoon moving towards the Philippine Islands. It is likely to dissipate over the dry condition areas of the Western Pacific. But we shall monitor this system, or we will monitor this system in the coming days for further new developments on this potential tropical cyclone. And before we go to the global hazards for the next 2 to 3 weeks, here's the rain forecast for the Philippine Islands for the next 3 days. So this afternoon, we expect isolated thunderstorms all across the country, particularly over eastern Visayas. And on Thursday afternoon, the bulk of the rainfall brought about by the localized thunderstorms will be limited over Mindanao and the mountains of northern Luzon or along Cagayan Valley. And on Friday afternoon, isolated thunderstorms, small, these are localized, okay, over Cagayan Valley will prevail during the afternoon of Friday and also in some portions of Mindanao. Bicol region will also experience some isolated brief rain showers and thunderstorms during Friday afternoon. Okay, so that's the forecast. And if we take a look at the three-day rainfall accumulation forecast, most of the rainfall are concentrated over Mindanao and portions of northern Caraga, while very small chances of isolated showers and thunderstorms will also be expected all throughout the country in various sections. Okay, and before we leave you, here's now the latest global tropics hazards issued April 18 or yesterday. This is from the Climate Prediction Center of NOAA, valid for 2 to 3 weeks. Now on week 2, valid April 26 to May 2, all clear across the Western Pacific and the Philippine Sea. There might be normal climate conditions over the Philippine Islands and here over the vicinity of Guam. 50% of above average rainfall because of that impending low pressure system, which could become briefly a tropical depression. So we are going to monitor that. And on week 3, valid May 3 to May 9, the Philippine Islands, particularly Luzon, will have below average rainfall. Okay, 50% probability, while Mindanao will have 50% probability of above average rainfall because of the warm easterlies and the approach of the once LPA 92W. So this is very important. We are monitoring this because if LPA 92W survive the dry air, it could be a threat across Mindanao by the first week of May. So we are going to monitor that. And so far, that's the forecast for the next 2 to 3 weeks across the Philippine Islands and nearby areas. So, folks, across Luzon, including Metro Manila, prepare for possible below average rainfall between May 3 to May 9 at 50% or more than 50% probability. So there you go. That's the latest for this Wednesday. And we will see you again this weekend for more updates on the weather from Typhoon 2000 and now College Foundation Typhoon Preparedness Center, Bank of the Philippine Islands, Aboitiz Power, and Avenue Plaza Hotel. This is Mike Padua. See you again, and thank you so much for watching.